Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and as you can see from the title, this is a Let's Talk video about dupes, and it's makeup dupes. So I want to start the video off actually just by saying that this is not a personal attack. I want to give an argument, a both-sided argument about dupes in the industry and how I feel about it as well. So I'll give you both sides of the argument because I do think that there is a bit of debate going on at the moment, and I think it's a healthy debate. We should talk about these things, but I want to talk about companies who are duping higher end products or vice versa, and I'll talk about that in a bit because I want to show you something. But it's just really trying to give a balanced view first of all, but then also my opinion and the reason for my opinion. So first of all, what is a dupe? So a dupe or duplication of a product is a company is a higher end brand, either the packaging or the shade could be duplicated by a budget brand. I mean, it could even be duplicated by another brand. Let's say another brand, it doesn't always have to be budget, as a similar shade or the same shade or same or similar packaging. The one thing it isn't is fakes or rip-offs. So if somebody used exactly the same packaging with the same name, same shade name, and exactly the same in every single way, but it wasn't made by the company, that is a fake, and that is illegal. What isn't illegal is to imitate. And I think that's what this is about. So I've got a few things that I could talk about here actually. I've got some dupes of products, one in particular that I found recently, and I spoke about on my channel. So I talk about dupes quite a lot because I believe that sometimes the original product can be quite expensive, but you can also get a similar outcome, not completely 100% the same, from something that is more affordable. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Marylou Manizer and the Glow Commotion. Now I spoke about these in a video, and I'll put a little iCard here because I do a lot of dupe videos, and the reason I do them is because I do believe that beauty should be available for everybody, and I'm not saying that that's what people are saying here. So this is the I can't get it open now. There you go. So these two products are very, very, very similar. There are some differences. The shades aren't exactly spot on. On the face, there isn't much of a difference. The packaging, the size, apart from the ingredients as well. The ingredients are different. This will be cheaper ingredients, whereas this one will be more expensive. This has talc, this doesn't. Anyway, that isn't the point of this video. The point of this video is that there have been some conversations, and there have been some sort of heated debates about companies like W7, Makeup Revolution, I Heart Makeup, well, the Tam Beauty brand as a whole. People questioning their morals. I think that's unfair, but saying that they're just ripping off other companies' ideas. I think a lot of people who enjoy the products of the higher end brands or can afford, and I'm not saying it's just that because some people can't afford it and save up for it. Some people just think that people have worked really hard to make products available to the public that are more luxury, and they are more luxury for a reason, and you buy them because of that. So if you're spending £26 on a lipstick, you expect that to be an individual, unique thing. That's why you're spending that money. To me, I think that's a fair thing to say if that's how you feel, if you are able to afford those sorts of luxuries. I don't think it's snobbery. That's the one thing I want to say. I'm not pulling anybody out. I just think that I think it's fair. If somebody was to write the same blog as me, not word for word, but write a similar post and although to be fair, imitation in terms of photography, everybody has, you know, similar photographs, etc. now that beauty blogs. So I don't know. For me, imitation is a form of flattery, and maybe that's why I'm looking at it this way. So nothing is exactly the same. So I'll show you. So these two, obviously, not exactly the same, almost similar in colour. for example, this product is the Hollywood Bronze and Glow by W7. It's plastic packaging with a clear window. It's just plastic. It's called Hollywood Bronze and Glow, and it has two, I'll just bring it really close to you actually, because then you might be able to see what it looks like. You've got two sides, a highlighter and a bronzer, okay? Now, if you are like me and you love beauty, you'll know that this looks extremely similar to the Charlotte Tilbury one. The Charlotte Tilbury one is in a gold packaging. It's obviously more luxurious. It costs a lot more. This was £2 or £2.99. It really was cheap. The Charlotte Tilbury one is nearing on the £50. So, you know, there is a massive difference. And of course, there's going to be a massive difference in the ingredients and the time it took to come up with. And even the shades are dissimilar and the consistency. However, I mean, I did talk about this and I went into Charlotte Tilbury and I took this and I wanted to see what the differences were. I didn't want to purchase it just for the sake of a video. I wanted to see, because if I've got a similar product, I wasn't going to purchase it while I still had it. This is very similar. This is a cooler bronzer than Charlotte's, and this is maybe a little bit more sort of chunky in terms of, it's a bit powdery. It's not as sheeny, which is fine. It depends what you want from your makeup. So that's from W7, and of course we know hers is called the Film Star Bronze and Glow. This is called Hollywood. So they're almost there. Obviously the packaging is just nothing like it. That's fine. And we're fine with that. Other things that have been dupes are the, and this is where sort of Makeup Revolution started, the Revolution Redemption Palette Iconic One is a dupe for the Naked Palette One. Now the Naked palettes are around £38 and this is £4. This is plastic, cheaply made. It has no mirror. It's just got a plastic see-through top. The shadows are not going to be the same, but they're very good for what they are. No complaints. I think what's really got the wind up a lot of people is recently Charlotte Tilbury has a specific look to her makeup, and the rose gold very weighted metal lipsticks, they're quite big, they are beautiful, they are absolutely stunning to look at and they're gorgeous. What has happened is Makeup Revolution have brought out a similar one, and I think I'll insert the pictures here so you can see. However, it's not original. You know, Estee Lauder was doing this 20 years ago, not rose gold, but gold, and it's very, very similar. In rose gold, you've got Joan Collins doing a very similar thing, and I've already mentioned this elsewhere, so I am going to put a little picture of those as well. So I just want you to see that it's not that her packaging is original, it's just original to her, and she has a theme and it works very well. The sort of 1920s Art Deco feel to her beauty, and do you know what? That's fantastic. With brands like Makeup Revolution, their whole concept is to bring makeup to the masses, affordable prices, with good quality, not expensive quality, not fantastic quality, but good quality, so that, you know, people are buying more of it. They're spending more with these brands because they want more. People want the photographs, people want more on Instagram, and so they're bringing things out that are similar. They're not identical, they're similar. So the one thing that they brought out was this lipstick. It's smaller, it's the same colour, but it's very different on the bottom. The colours are different completely. They are their own colours, they don't dupe the colours, it's just the packaging that looks similar. So I feel like that is maybe what I do find with them is they'll either copy the packaging to a certain extent, and then they'll you know, they'll either copy it similarly and then they'll copy the shade, or they copy the packaging almost 100%, not exactly, because obviously it doesn't say Charlotte Tilbury on it, etc. And then they'll have different shades. And I think that's fair enough. I think that's a fine thing to do. And this is the reason, so this is the ultimate thing. I bought the Makeup Revolution I Heart Makeup chocolate bar palette, which I don't have anymore, and it is a dupe for the Too Faced chocolate bar palette. Now, I did not have £38, £29, whatever the cost is, to buy that palette outright, and I didn't even know if it would suit me or if I would use it. However, I really enjoyed the palette, not enough to buy the chocolate bar palette, but I was absolutely sure that I would buy a Too Faced palette, and I did. I bought the peach palette. I saved up, I wanted it, because I already had the chocolate bar palette, that was fine. I thought, no, I want to try one of the Too Faced ones. So to me, it sort of led into those higher end brands. I feel like actually these brands are doing a service. They're not doing a disservice at all. They're bringing makeup to teenagers who have pocket money and want to feel like they can copy people who are on YouTube. They can do a similar look or the same look. So I don't think that it's a bad thing. I actually really think, personally, I think it's a good thing. I could not have done YouTube without Makeup Revolution. Couldn't. I couldn't have afforded YouTube without them. So one thing they are good at doing is really knowing the beauty industry. So I want to show you this, and this is why I say sometimes the higher end brands can dupe by mistake, or they might have got it bang on time. So this is the Revolution. This is called the Neutrals versus Neutrals palette. So this is a very warm neutral palette. You can see there's a few sort of cool shades here, but there's some really beautiful red, burnt orange shades. Now this came out about 6 months prior to this, the Modern Renaissance palette. Now this has got, it's blown up, it's incredible. Now I just want to show you the Modern Renaissance palette. There are similarities. I'm not going to lie, there are some real similarities in the shades. They're not identical, but I feel like Makeup Revolution got it right, and they got it right first. They knew the trend was coming, that warm colours were coming. They had a product which was incredible. You can see that I've just swiped those now, and like, they are just beautiful shadows, and I absolutely love them. No, they're not completely void of being chalky. No, they're not, you know, the most incredible ones I've ever seen in my life, but they're good. This was £8. £8. This was £41. £41 for this. Now I did end up buying this because I saved up, because I really love this palette, and there is some differences, but I did save up and buy this because I thought it was a beautiful colour. I thought the colours worked for me, and that's what I wanted in my palettes. And since then I've bought others with similar colours. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I actually think that although yes, there are some, there's cheekiness, I don't, if companies were really bothered, they would take Makeup Revolution to court. But because of Makeup Revolution and people wanting more, it is helping them as an industry. People are more inclined to go and buy the more expensive things, like I have been. Like, you know, today I'm wearing a Chanel lipstick. Would I have ever bought Chanel before? No, I wouldn't. I would have picked up a Rimmel one, or a, you know, just a £1 lipstick from MUA, because I didn't care, but I do care now. And it is because of Makeup Revolution. You know, things like collecting makeup has become a thing. The blushing hearts, and they look very similar to the Too Faced ones. Are they the same quality? Probably not. Is it a little bit too close to the mark? Probably. But this is £5.99 and theirs is much more expensive. If you're 16 and you've just got like a Saturday job, you're not going to spend all of your money on the Too Faced one when you can have 4 of these. And why not? And they don't just do the one, they also bring out more. So with the chocolate bar palettes, they started off duping the chocolate bar, and they do sometimes dupe the other ones. And every time they come up, people are waiting for them. You know, the thing that I'm passionate about is people having access to makeup, whatever your budget. You might be able to afford any luxury brand, and do you know what? Good for you. You have worked hard and you have earned your money, and you can spend it on what you damn well like. I know I do, but not everybody has that luxury, and I think that everybody should have access to it. And I know, having spoken to people at Makeup Revolution, I'm not saying they're best buddies, but I have met and I've spoken to them. I know that's their ethos. Sorry. I know that, you know, part of the reason they do what they do is because they want to bring beauty to the masses at an affordable price. And I don't really see that that's damaging anybody's reputation. In fact, if anything, it's making makeup just that bit better. It's making people like L'Oreal, but they're taking things like this palette here, and they're taking things like this shade here, and they're going into, you know, the mattes and the darks, etc. You know, look at these, like look at the pigmentation of these. And you go to L'Oreal and you might buy a palette that is not as cheap as £4, but this is better. And you think, well, they're ripping you off. I mean, really, what should be happening is if they're that bothered about it, they should bring their prices down. But why would they? Because they are a luxury brand. They're using luxury ingredients, and they should be pleased that there are people who are, you know, if they want their customers to enjoy their makeup and feel good using it. So why can't people who are paying £4? Now, I'd love to know if Charlotte Tilbury is really, really annoyed by this, or if she really doesn't mind, because she has a very successful brand in spite of Makeup Revolution copying. I don't know. I'd love to know. I'd love to know if it's just that they feel that they've been completely duped themselves, like somebody's conning them out of people's money, because I don't, or conning people out of their own money. I don't think they are. For £4, this isn't a con. In fact, this is something that, you know, it gives you that insight. Now, I am interested in buying the Naked palette because of this one. I could throw this away tomorrow. It was £4. But because I know I like the shades and I like what I can make with it, because I've used it for £4, I could use it 10 times, throw it away, buy the right one, buy the one that was more expensive. To me, it is an absolute godsend for these brands, and it actually keeps them on their toes to keep up with what people want. So that's it. That would be my, I guess, my take on it. I'm quite passionate about it because I feel like everybody's been slamming the budget brands for duping, but nobody's really taking a look at why and who it's for. And those people that have been, you know, angry about it, I do appreciate it, but think about what you're saying, because how it sounds is that makeup should only be for the elite, and I think that's unfair. I'm not saying it's snobbery, but what you're saying is that we should stick to this packaging. People who can't afford it should just stick to this. No, I don't want to. I'd like to have a little bit of luxury in my house without paying the luxury price, if I can afford that at the time. I mean, things have changed for me and I can afford things a bit more now, and I do, but I still like to stick to these because I do want to see what's new. I do want to see the trends. I do want to hear what's going on, and I support all of these brands. Not just the budget brands, not just the luxury brands, because it's hard work out there. We are in a recession, people have no money, and to keep people on their toes buying your stuff, it's hard work. But we all have to work hard to get what we want. Anyway, that's how I feel. This is not, like I say, a personal attack on anybody. I think that everybody has the right to an opinion. I think that for people to think that people aren't being honest, I think that's a little bit harsh. I think that we are all feeling honest about things. We're all able to express our opinions without falling out with people, because there are people that I respect and I respect their opinions, and we may not always agree, but it doesn't mean that I don't like them, because there are quite a few bloggers who have said this, but I still like them. I respect what they're saying and I appreciate where it's coming from. It's coming from a really good place, and I agree to some extent, but I also think that there is a place for duplications. I think there is, you know, that the consumer drives what is required, and if somebody listens to you, you're more likely to go and put your hands in your pocket, even over your weekly shop. You know, things like that are important. So I know this is a long video. I'm really sorry that I've ranted, but I'd love to hear your opinions. I'd love to hear what you think of brands like W7 Makeup Revolution, what your opinion is. This is a community on my channel. People respond to each other, and I want it to be respectful, and everybody usually is. I just want to put that out there. There is no name calling, there's nothing like that, but I do think that it's inspiring. I think there should be some conversation here about it. I think this is the place to have it. This is a social network above everything else at YouTube. So please be social, please respect others' opinions, and please do leave a comment and subscribe if you can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.